Hello, and welcome to this session of Management Support Online, more commonly referred to as MSO. My name is Lynn Levy and I'm the Director of Sector Services and Development at WACOS. Today's episode will focus on making the most of MSO, your online resource, with all the practical tools and resources you need to support your community resource centre to run more effectively and efficiently. Today, I'm joined by Pip Brennan. Pip is a project coordinator at WACOS and comes with 15 years experience in the not-for-profit sector. During this time, she's managed many small not-for-profit organisations and she'll be sharing some of her practical experience using MSO. Welcome, Pip.
Thanks, Lynn. It's great to be here.
Okay, to get the most out of today's episode, you can log on to MSO with your CRC details. If you're not sure what they are, you can contact your CRC or your regional coordinator.
Lynn, before we get started, I wanted to ask you about MSO. Is that a WACOS product?
MSO is actually the work of an organisation called Breaking New Grounds. It is a web-based consultancy service that's been designed specifically for not-for-profit organisations. So when WACOS wanted to put this, was looking for resources that would be suitable for not-for-profit organisations, it found this service, this resource that was already out there and quite a number of years had been put into it. There's over 260 downloadable templates and tools and resources available. It's updated all the time, and so you can be really, WACOS has a confidence that the material on there is up to date and in line with current government policy, regulations and laws. That's the organisation that sits behind it. And the great thing is that regional development has paid for annual subscriptions for all CRCs until March 2015. So, you know, for CRCs, make sure you take advantage of all the resources and downloadable tools that are on offer through this service.
Yeah, that is just gold for CRCs. The MSO is such a great tool and it's so easy to get logged in and get started and accessing these fantastic resources.
That's right. And it's so easy, you can log in either from the WACOS website or the CRC portal. So enter your CRC name and password and you're in. So let's go there, shall we?
So once you're logged in, you see the welcome screen and you can see you've got resources, checking needs, working better, skill building and getting assistance. And you can also choose those menu options up the top.
And I'd like to also point out that on the top right hand side you have the option of manage your details. So we'll just have a quick look in there. Okay, so here's where the person with the administrator password can change the different users within the organisation. So all of that's at the control of each individual CRC. So it's the opportunity for your board members, administrators or anybody in your organisation that you think is going to benefit from using some of these tools and resources.
The other thing that we wanted to point out here is the search button. So you can see you've got the search button, you've got two different things. You can either put in a search term yourself or you can pick a keyword. Either one works really well.
As you'll see, resources is the button that you can see up the top here. We'll come back to that last because there's a very good reason for that, because to use this to the most benefit, you probably want to have a look at some of the diagnostic and other tools that are on there, generally leading you back to the right resources that you need for the particular identified gap or service need of your organisation. So let's look at checking your needs first.
So say you have a new volunteer treasurer, for example, and they're just not really confident that they've got all their skills. So they can pop on there and they can have a look at that quiz on building your skills. And basically they just click on that. They answer a few questions. There's just 5 questions. And then it just takes you straight to the information sheets and tools you need. I mean, how easy is that?
Shall we just have a quick whiz through this this little quiz? So the questions here are all about, as Pip's mentioned, financial management. So there's 5 quick and easy questions that you can go through, and I won't go through them all, but one of them is, could you develop a resource plan for your organisation? No, probably, or yes. How well do you estimate the resource implications of a new project? Not very well, reasonably well, or to some extent. And so I'll just quickly populate these questions, do a quick quiz, self-assessment, and what comes up is the following modules are recommended, and it takes you to the module or the resource that it thinks would best assist you in what's been identified through that.
It really couldn't be easier. It's just so useful. You can just get straight to what it is that you need help with.
All right, so if you want to go back to the home page, quickly pop back, you can just do that by clicking on the WACOS symbol up the top. It'll take you to the home page, and there we are. So we're going to move on to working better.
Well, say if we stick with the same example, you have a new treasurer and they're just not feeling very confident that they know how to do the financial management side of things, so how to set a budget for their CRC. So in this section, they can actually click on Managing Financial Resources, and they get a little activity thing that they can click on. And basically that gives them like a set of questions that they can then take to the board and have a discussion together. And there's some action points that they can take. So it really just takes you step by step through what you need to do. It's such a handy and great tool. It just takes you straight to where you need to be.
Okay, so again, what we recommend is that you take your time and explore some of these different areas. We're just going to go through quickly today and give you a bit of an overview of the different things and different ways that you can use it. So we'll move on to skill building, another great area within the resource. So let's have a look at skill building now. I've found this to be really useful for not-for-profit organisations, especially those in regional areas. It's like training on tap, short and easy to do modules for staff and volunteers. Even if they want to do it at home, you don't necessarily have to let everyone know that you're not 100% confident about everything. You can point them to those resources and they can do some self-learning. For example, in the governance series recently, there was a whole topic around ethics. So if you're not sure how to create an ethical organisation, you can find everything you need to know at your own pace.
So you just click on the training session and it's so easy. You can just access the training in your own home at your own pace whenever you need. And not only is there training, but there are information sheets and resources. So they're all themed together so you can find everything you need. It's just so useful. I found over and over again that staff and volunteers really appreciated how easy the training was to use.
So now we've taken you through a tour of checking needs, working better and skill building. It's time to look at resources.
So I found that I spent most of our time here in the resources section. When you're busy and time pressed like we are in the not-for-profit sector, it's great to be able to dive straight into the material that you need.
So on the resources page, you'll see tools, information sheets, library and contact directory. If you click on the tools, we'll just go there now, you can see them all in alphabetical order. And there's 7 pages of them, so a very comprehensive list of tools there.
The search button is great too. Say for example you have a new board member and you're looking for an orientation package. You can just go to the search term and put in orientation. And what comes up is an orientation package for either board or staff members. And so if you click on the one for the board members, and you can see a little button with a Word document on it and it's got Save to Use. So if you click that button, basically it turns it into a Word document. So you now have that entire orientation package as a Word document. You can put your own logo on it and you'll see throughout the document there's blue text inside square brackets. That's where you need to put the information that's relevant for your organisation. So basically you work through that document, you put in all the missing information and then you have a policy that is tailored to your organisation that you know is complete. It's going to have everything you need. It's just saved me hours and hours of time. It's the most fantastic resource.
Thanks, Pip. Yeah, I've heard so many organisations ring WACOS or send emails through saying thank you so much on some of these particularly these type of governance policies, procedures and different areas that some organisations struggle with because it's not their area of expertise. They're more focused on service delivery. So this is really fantastic and I think, yes, as you pointed out, one of the great things about it is that you customise it. All these logos, it's all in Word document. Take that off, put your logo on and ready to go. I couldn't recommend some of these sections enough and these resources that you can download and adapt to your organisation. And a reminder that all CRCs have access to MSO under the current subscription that Regional Development has funded up until March 2015. So make sure that you use the policies, procedures and resources that you need, tailor them to your organisation. It's going to take you a fraction of the time, and you don't have to start from scratch because it's all there.
Absolutely. And as already mentioned, you know that the resources are all going to be up to date and they're always going to be complete. So it really gives you that confidence.
Another great feature of MSO is the getting assistance. So can't find what you need, or it may be just a question, or you need some information or support around governance or management or HR. The getting assistance, you just click through the assistance request form. It'll ask you a little bit of details about what the issue is, and that'll send an email through to WACOS, and WACOS will ensure that it gets back to you within 48 hours and is able to respond to your query or direct you to professional or even legal advice if that's what's required for your organisation and the particular issue that you're looking for. So Pip, do you want to talk to us a little bit about just sort of generally some of the areas that you've been particularly found useful in being a manager of a small not-for-profit organisation?
One of the things we tried to do in our organisation was really improve our volunteer program. It really wasn't how we would like it. And I was able to put our volunteer on MSO. She downloaded all of the tools and templates around our volunteer policy, and she made it come alive. So we had the discussions as staff, we put together a procedure, we had, at the end of it, we had a really good policy. We were actually doing more work with volunteers, we were engaging with them better, supporting them better, and it really just made such a difference. And we just didn't waste any time with trying to get the paperwork together because it was all there. We could go straight to having the discussions and putting it together and actually doing it. It was so good.
I can imagine, particularly with volunteers or people, it can be quite time consuming having to go through and help them to locate documents. If you're able to point them in one area, I definitely could see the benefits and the time savings there. I don't know whether you've used this, Pip, but one of the things that I know many organisations have used in this is things like bits of information that you may not be doing every day, but
Absolutely.
come across as a manager.
Yes.
Examples might be having to write an MOU.
Exactly.
So again, where do you start? You know, go on to MSO, download an MOU template. It'll step you through. It gives you a nice framework to work from, and then that's one example that I know myself have used, and many organisations ring me and ask. Another area that comes up quite a lot for me in my role at WACOS, in talking to not-for-profit organisations, has been around conflict of interest and some of the issues with governance and the roles and responsibilities of management committees and the particular executive functions like the chairperson. Were you able to use that, Pip, in your organisation to support your board and particularly new members?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely I was able to use that. I mean, as you can see, when you have a look at the resources, it actually lists what it is that each person needs to do in the board. So if there's any confusion with the board, you can basically give them a form that shows them what it is that they need to do. And once again, you can actually save those documents to use. You can make sure they're tailored to your organisation, that they are correct, and you put a little bit of time into it. But when you've got a starting point like that, it really doesn't take long to populate the document so that it's right. I actually did an entire policy procedure audit of the whole of the organisation. And again, I was able to very quickly draw together what policies we had, what policies we didn't have. And then we could just download the ones we didn't have, put them together, and then eventually we had a suite of policies. And that's such a huge undertaking. It feels like you've got to eat an entire elephant, but you can do it bit by bit by bit with MSO. It really makes it easy.
Yeah, thanks, Pip. Look, I think this is one of the best tools in the resource section itself. As you can see, it gives a table with all of the broken up into the different policy areas, your organisation. Now, small organisations may not need all of those.
That's right.
So what this does is it's a bit of a checklist. Do you have one? Or the box, not relevant. So you're not feeling a bit overwhelmed, and you can take it bit by bit and work through the various sections based on your organisation size and what you're needing and what you've already got. So you can build on that. Again, you don't need to spend money on a consultant to come in and do a whole review. You can do a lot of this work yourself in-house because this provides you with the framework and the tools to be able to do it.
Absolutely, and it really helps guide those discussions that you need to have in your organisation to make sure everyone's on the same page. You know you're not going to miss anything, you know you've got a structure. It's really great.
And I guess one of the other great benefits is they're all consistent formatted. One of the challenges, I know with information at hand, and we've got search engines that can find anything you want, but one of the challenges is you're often downloading a whole lot of different formatted and matched type of documents. So you could end up, you know, in more trouble than you started with.
Exactly, yeah. And I think it's knowing that the documents are being updated regularly and they've got a really solid backing to them.
Yeah, and a great example, recently we had some changes to the privacy law. Within 24 hours, all of the relevant documents relating to privacy were updated. So, you know, you can really feel confident that this resource, you know, is working within the Australian context. It's relevant to your organisation. The directory of the library area will point you to resources that are West Australian if that's what's required, or if it's national legislation or regulation, it'll take you there. So it's broken it up by state. Based as well, so you can link you straight through to those relevant other resources that organisations sometimes need to tap into as well.
So that's really been our whistle-stop tour of MSO. It's such a fantastic resource and we really hope you get started on it. It really is easy to use and it will save you hours and hours of time.
So after today's episode, we're hoping that you're feeling a lot more confident and ready to get online and have a bit of a tour yourself and play around and check out all the resources that are available on this fantastic tool that's really going to support your organisation in its running. Thanks, Pip, for joining us, and really great to hear your own personal experience as well.
Thanks very much for having me, Lynn, and all the best with MSO.
So it's bye for now from me.
And bye from me.
Thanks for joining us.